Good evening. On behalf of the Village of Cary and the Board of Zoning, Planning, and Appeals, we'd like to hereby call this meeting to order on this Thursday, February the 9th, 2023. The time is 7:01 p.m. We have a quorum of members, and at this time, I'd like to ask our Director of Community Development, Mr. Brian Simmons, to please call the roll.
Williams? Kretschmer?
Here.
Graziano?
Here.
Jasper?
Here.
Nats? Laughlin?
Here.
Spani? Corey?
Here. Thank you very much, Mr. Simmons. Gentlemen, we invite you to rise with us for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks very much, everyone. So, gentlemen, just to help you understand how we conduct our business tonight, the way we've traditionally done this over the last few years is that Mr. Simmons will give us an overview of your application, and then members of the ZPA may have some questions for Mr. Simmons. Once we conclude that portion, we'll ask you to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record. If you're unaware, we do record these proceedings, so those that are not able to attend this meeting can see it in the future, including our elected officials. And you're welcome to add any comments or color to the application that you think is appropriate. Once again, members of the ZPA may have some questions for yourself. Once we close that portion of the meeting, we open it up to the public. Obviously, the three of you are there, but that's part of our process. We'll close that portion of the meeting. Members of the ZPA may have some questions amongst themselves. We'll take a vote, and then that vote gets delivered back to our elected officials. So that's our process here at this committee. So before we move on to an administrative matter, do you have any questions about our process? No? Okay. It's pretty straightforward. All right. So, gentlemen, in your package, you would have received the meeting minutes from our last meeting of December the 8th, 2022. And before I call for a voice vote on approval of those three meeting minutes, which will be ZPA cases 001, 002, and then 10001, they were for 255 Briargate, and that was the final plat of subdivision. Excuse me, there was 760 Industrial Drive for a conditional use for a fitness facility. And then the final one was the approval of a planned development for a 10-unit row home over on East Main Street. So before I ask for a voice vote on approval, any comments or questions on those? Okay, those in agreement of the three meeting minutes that I just articulated approving, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, gentlemen. At this time, I'm going to call village case number 23, ZPA 01001. This is for Spartan Boxing and Fitness. It's located at 760 Industrial Drive, Suite A. The owner is Larry Hooker Real Estate. The parcel number is 1911426-021. And the request is for a conditional use for a fitness facility. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Simmons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As referenced or mentioned, this request is for a conditional use for a fitness facility at the property located at 760 Industrial Drive, which is just down the street from our current location here in the Municipal Center. The subject property is zoned M Manufacturing District, and the approvals are seeking this evening for the conditional use. History in the property, which we actually discussed in our last meeting, was annexed in the village back in 1978 as part of the Cary Industrial Center subdivision. The subject building where the proposed use is located at 760 was constructed back in 1990, and then the second building that was on the property closer to the railroad crossing of Three Oaks Road was built back in 2000. The petitioners are proposing to operate a sports training facility in Unit A of the building, which is the unit that is closest to the driveway entrance off of Industrial Drive. It was about a 4,000 square foot tenant space, and they're proposing to provide boxing and fitness training in that space. The proposed hours of operation per the petitioner's documentation that was submitted are 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. on weekdays and 8 a.m. to noon on weekends. The activities that would be conducted at the facility would be all performed indoors, and there are minor improvements intended to the space that would include various padding and the boxing ring that will be added to the space for their operations. Under the Unified Development Ordinance, there are various standards that need to be met for review of a conditional use, which are summarized in the slide. In general, the use not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare, will not substantially diminish or impair values of property within the immediate vicinity, and will not contribute to an overburdening of municipal services in addition to others. The petitioner did provide some information in their packet as far as the operation of their use and how the business would operate, and they believe that it will comply with these standards as in this slide. Should the ZPA determine in this case that the standards in this case have been met, staff would recommend that the ZPA recommend approval of the following motion. Approval of a conditional use for a fitness facility for the property located at 760 Industrial Drive, subject to the conditions that are listed in the staff report. As mentioned previously, the fitness facilities are allowed within the manufacturing districts. The code, they're not permitted by right, but the conditional use process allows them to locate under certain conditions in the district. So staff believes that the conditions in this case have been met. Happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the petition, and the petitioner's here as well to provide more information on the business.
Thanks very much, Mr. Simmons. Gentlemen, questions for Mr. Simmons?
How do we look on parking? Good?
There are no issues with parking.
No issue. Okay.
So I'll follow that one up, Mr. Simmons, because I actually just drove over there just to see the parking lot. And so I know the hours of operation are going to be at least Monday through Friday, 4 to 9. And I did go over there tonight, and the parking lot was very busy. I personally counted about 4 spaces, and I'll ask the petitioner the same thing, but I'm assuming they would have at least 4 members at these hours. So it's something that we may want to take a peek at moving forward. And my second question, Mr. Simmons, is there's a number of people that were noticed on this application. I just want to double check with you if you received any feedback.
We received no feedback.
Okay, thank you very much. So, gentlemen, I don't know who wants to speak on behalf of the petition, one of you or all of you, but you're welcome to now come forward and state your name, address for the record, and at the podium, please, and offer any additional comments that you think are appropriate to the request.
Yeah, so, my name's Angelo Duros. I'm at 588 Alita Drive here in Cary. So we actually own several businesses already. We own it's In-N-Out Restoration in Elgin. We own Spartan Axe Throwing in Crystal Lake, and then we also own Spartan Axe Throwing in East ND. So obviously, we have a background with, running businesses and all that. So we do have a history with boxing, of course. We've been doing it for 20 years. We want to do, kind of family-friendly kind of thing. This is my brother Demetrio, so I know he definitely wants to speak as well. yeah, he's licking his lips to come up here.
Just excited. This is something we've been talking about for almost 20 years. So
yeah, we've been wanting to do this for a very long time. The gentleman Larry that owns the building that we're currently renting in Crystal Lake owns this building as well. So that's kind of where we're at with it. And when I reached out to him and I was like, hey, do you have another property? Here we are. And me moving to Cary, we kind of fell in love with the city. Had our baby girl. Yeah. There's a reason we came here. Yeah.
We both have daughters.
He's looking to move here.
Things have changed very, very fast for us. And we're both a little late in life to become dads. He's 40, I'm 43. So it's our first child, and with all the businesses that we had, and trying to make a good influence on what we want our children to be raised in this area. We've already had parties. I believe the year before we had kids when Cary, they went to the state championship or whatnot. And
right. We had the whole football team there.
We fell in love with,
the town. That was awesome. Yeah.
And we were even complimenting the room because we've had many of these already, in the last couple of years and whatnot. So definitely excited about it. And really, we fell in love with the space because it has windows. And I understand your concern with the parking. And totally what our main, we believe with the amount of space that is available, it is a first come, first serve. And when we speak to Larry about what occurs with the rest of the space, he basically, and with other businesses, they kind of slow down all their traffic at a certain time. So we're planning on doing different classes with not only kids, but where your parents can go in and actually do something together with their child. And obviously, we're gonna try to plan that where parents can get home and obviously could go ahead and get their child and come in there. So we're still gonna keep it open as far as how we're planning on scheduling everything as far as the classes. But again, even though we're looking at opening at 4, we may just be at 4 o'clock, just opening, just like it's an open gym at first, and let people come in, and then go from there. So it's definitely something that was in our concern as well. There's other spaces, you know, in the property as well that he brought up to us but unfortunately, because of the windows, it kind of sold us on it, you know, so we really wanted the sunlight coming in and whatnot, so.
Very good.
Yep.
All right, so did you have additional comments that you wanted to offer?
If
I
you
want to
have
see
any questions, we'll gladly answer them, whatever you like to do, or.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with this, so I don't know if the gentleman might have questions for the petitioner.
I don't, no.
So, gentlemen, one of the questions I traditionally ask is that part of the packet requires yourselves basically to notify anybody within a 250-foot radius of where you're going to put your new business. If you've received any feedback at all from any of your
Nothing.
tenants that'll be close by, have you received any kind of,
No,
this is great, or this is bad, or just nothing?
we have, nothing.
No.
Okay. And I would remind you, I think you're well aware of the parking situation. I don't know, like the one that's next door to you, there was plenty of parking over there, but if it's kids and it's dark, I think that's an issue as it gets lighter.
100%.
Yeah, so
100%.
I know you understand that as a father now.
Of course, of course.
so
And those things that obviously we're gonna address as we see as they come in. But growing up in the restaurant industry, we're Greek. I keep touching that. We're Greek, and we grew up as in the business as a young child, you know, since little kids, and we want to be aware of everything. And again, safety is a huge thing for us. Even at our other places, the 2 axe-throwing places, it's a very family-friendly place. We close early. We were the only one in the country to open up and be designed the way it was. So again, we always kind of keep that thing in mind, and that's one thing that we would definitely not take for granted. You know? So that being said, whether it's lighting or whatever else we need to accommodate the space with, we're definitely willing to do. In our background in construction, and my father being a veteran and ex-military, he runs a very tight ship at 72 years old, so we'll make sure, you know, he's gonna make sure the same thing.
He
that
keeps us in line for sure.
keeps us in line, yeah. He probably went to Greece, that's why he's not here right now, but he went there for a little bit. So again, he just had his second hip replacement it was scheduled on a Monday. The Friday, we did a roof in Geneva, and he was there on a 3-story roof, on top of the roof. So, you know, that's the type of father we have, and you know, it definitely inspires us to try to do what we have to do. So yes, sir, we'll definitely take care of that.
All right. So, gentlemen, I don't think there's any other questions from the members here. So this is the time where I typically say if anybody in the public has any questions, and I know there's the 3 of you assembled here, but I am required to ask that question, so I'll close the public portion. You're welcome to be seated again if you
Awesome.
choose to. So, gentlemen, before I call the roll on this, or Mr. Simmons calls the roll, any comments, questions, concerns? All right. So the chair will entertain a motion to recommend to the Village Board of Trustees approval of a conditional use for a fitness facility at 760 Industrial Drive, Unit A, subject to the following conditions. 1, the conditional use shall be granted to Spartan Boxing and Fitness for the property located at 760 Industrial Drive, Unit A. And 2, all training activities conducted at the facility shall be performed indoors. No sports training activities shall be conducted outdoors on the subject property.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Mr. Simmons, would you call the roll, please?
Kretschmer?
Yes.
Graziano?
Yes.
Jasper?
Yes.
O'Laughlin?
Yes.
Corey?
Yes. So, gentlemen, you have a positive recommendation. The way this typically works, and it's not guaranteed, but typically something like this, when it's voted in the affirmative like this and there's no negative votes, it gets placed on something called the consent agenda at the next village board meeting. Mr. Simmons would be your principal contact. I would recommend someone being there for just in case purposes, but Mr. Simmons will be in a better position than I would to tell you whether or not you should be there. But in the event that someone asks a question and you're not there, that could slow your situation down. So I'll leave it to you. We'll close with good luck with your project. Congratulations on being new dads.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't even know. What a coincidence. He's on the way in.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. God
Yeah.
bless.
Yeah. God bless
Thank
you.
you.
All right, Jen, so before I close the meeting, I just want to double check with yourself. I had asked Mr. Simmons earlier if he sees anything coming down the pike in March. He does not necessarily have anything quite yet. Good luck. Thank you. But I want to double check.
Nothing lined up for the next meeting in March, so likely, if we do have a case come in, it'll be not discussed.
Okay. So unless there's anything else, gentlemen, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Still haven't broken Jim's record, man.
So, gents, I exchanged messages with